Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Hearts of Iron 4, continuing on with my Nova Roma playthrough. And I have been doing some thinking, and I've decided on a date for the invasion of Yugoslavia. I'm going to do it in the beginning of the spring, probably around March of 1939. Now, this gives me time to prepare, get some troops recruited, which I desperately need to do. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to be looking at that in a second. But it also gives me a 6-month window before Germany starts to act and goes to war with Poland, bringing the Allies into the war, more than likely, if things follow the historical route. Now, right now, they're doing the Demand Sudetenland focus. So they start acting on Czechoslovakia here. And I'm not exactly sure how that is going to go because of some of the things that I've changed the way that they happen historically, for instance, taking Austria. So I have to see, but I expect things to go the historical route because the AI has been set to that. So Germany should declare war on Poland around about September of 39, if I'm remembering my dates correctly. So that gives me about 6 months, and it gives me a year from this point, actually. So let's go ahead and take a look at the recruitment here. So I'm having a lot of shortage of supply here being the main issue. I have plenty of manpower, just having some issue with supply, preventing me from getting my troops fully trained. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel this unit here so that maybe its supply will get diverted to the other units. And then once I pop out some of this infantry, I think I am going to... I think I'm going to actually give these guys a higher priority to try and get them trained out. But once these guys get trained out, I think I'm going to bring them back down, and I'm going to start pumping out colonial troops, just because I think they'll train a little bit faster, and it'll allow me to put a bunch of troops into the African regions so that we can hold on to them a little bit better than the current troop allotments, because after this initial batch of infantry is done, or this last bit of infantry is done, I think I have enough to put a decent defense up for Italy in case of invasion from France or the UK. All right, so let's go ahead and start. And let's see how that recruitment is going. So still we're having issues here. What is it especially that we're short on? Support equipment, it looks like, is the main issue. So looks like that's what I'm going to have to jump on as far as production goes. So I just got encryption, so I'm just going to go right into decryption now that we have that. And let's take a look at production here. Actually, construction. So it's going to be a little while before I start working on a military factory. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and put another military factory there around Rome. And I'm going to put that at top priority so that we start working on a military factory. And when that comes out, I'm going to put it into support equipment, because that seems to be what's really holding back a lot of my units from getting trained. I could check that and confirm it. So, yeah, support equipment, support equipment. Yeah, it's support equipment that's holding back my troops. So I definitely need to get on production of that. As a matter of fact, I could take production from another line. And switch it to that. What I'd take it from, though, I don't know, because I really need all of these things. I guess I'll take motorized equipment away. I don't really like doing that, but... Well, let's see. How long would it take to build this? What is the projected time span here? Okay, I can wait a month. Alright, there's actually a unit of infantry right there. We'll add them into the Blue Army. And I'll just have them march right over there to that port, because I believe that is the last port on the western edge of Italy. Does appear to be so. So now we're going to be putting troops in Sicily, with the remainder that pop out. And as I discussed, I'm going to be canceling some of these troops so we can start training colonial troops. And I'll be pumping out quite a few of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 looks good to me. And where do we want the colonial troops to go? Because we're going to probably end up putting them in Africa. So I think location-wise, I'm going to go ahead and put them down here in this port. And then I'll have them go from there. All right, well, let's go ahead and place this guy in the blue army as well and send them down to Palermo. And then we just have these couple units that are waiting for supply as well. All right, so land doctrine done. And that's the last of my discounts for that. So, all right, what else we got going? I need infantry equipment for 38. So, I'll go ahead and start with the improved infantry equipment. Available planes reserves. So that means that I actually have extra planes. And it's probably time that I thought about, let's take a look at the air regions here. So we've got the Alpine region, and then we have Italy itself. I'm going to need to have fighters to protect my territory. Now this group here, and this group here, as a matter of fact, I have missions over here that I didn't mean to have going. Go ahead and cancel those. This group and this group is probably going to be used in the Western Balkans to attack Yugoslavia. But I'm probably going to want to group over... I wonder what exactly it's indicating, what type. I mean, I know I have a lot of interwar fighters, but what triggered this? Was it the close air support? Because if that's the case, then we still need that more or less on the front. I mean, I have interwar fighters, but I'm not producing those. That is a good sign, though, because that shows that I've actually upgraded most of my planes. So I'm going to go ahead and create a close air support unit. And we'll change that to 200. That sounds like a reasonable number. All right, well, that works for me. You know, I haven't really done much with Navy experience. I'm actually curious what you use. Is it to upgrade ships? So, like, if I go here... Yeah, you can create variants of ships. Okay. Well, these battleships take so long, I don't see a reason to create a variant there. Maybe smaller ships, there would be more of a reason to do that. Out of curiosity, let's just take a look at that. So if I look at destroyers here, what all can you upgrade? Oh, speaking of upgrades, I just got my heavy cruiser research done. So we can do torpedoes, anti-air, ASW, anti-submarine warfare, and engine. So I'm going to assume that depending on what type of ship you're talking about, it's going to be different. So it's quite a bit different from... Well, I guess it'd be like fighters versus tactical bombers or close air support or something like that. So if I take a look at light cruisers, we've got reliability, anti-air, gun, and engine. So that's a little bit more what I'm used to seeing is these kind of stats. As a matter of fact, destroyer didn't have reliability, did it? No, it had torpedo instead. And then a heavy cruiser, I would imagine, would have the same stats as would the battle cruiser, as would the battleship. Yeah. Submarine, I would imagine, would have different stats. No, pretty close. You just replace gun with torpedo. Otherwise, more or less the same. And then you've got stealth versus armor. All right, well. Again, I don't think that's something I necessarily need to do right this second. What I do need to do is pick research, though. Alright, so we've got most of the Navy stuff done. Probably time for some doctrines here. So we've got submarine operations, convoy sailing, and battle fleet concentration. So this gives battleships, battle cruisers, and heavy cruisers a bunch of bonuses. That is probably the route I'm going to go, because we depend more on battleships and cruisers than we do on carriers. So I'm going to go ahead and select this one. Research that. And I am going to produce a heavy cruiser here. And I'm going to, I think, bring back my destroyer and submarine production. So, build ships. I'm going to go with the heavy cruiser here that we just unlocked. I'm going to bring back one for each of those. Oop, actually, that would be 2. And for these guys, I'm going to produce 2. At least that's a game plan. Actually, I'm going to back off a little bit here on the light cruisers. So we have 1 a year. And we're going to take the rest and put it into this. There we go. That's going to be the current production that I go for. All right. Hopefully I can get my Navy up to a production level that can at least hold its own in defending us. Will be tricky, though, because obviously the British fleet is very, very powerful. All right, so we've got, I think, an air doctrine? Yeah. What am I working on focus-wise? I'm going to be working on the Army list, I think, for the meantime. So, I think for the research, I'm just going to focus on other things that we need to do for the current period. So, we've got 38. Pretty much good on most things for 38. The only thing we're lacking is heavy fighters, which I don't know if I'm ever going to go down, because I don't know if I'm ever going to have the production to do heavy fighters. I'd prefer to just stick with normal fighters for the meantime. Engineering, we're working on the last of 38, although I do have radar. And we'll be good here. So the choice is either continue working on the infantry equipment, which we do have a discount for, which I think is the right call. I would like to get this done before the war starts, so, or, you know, get it done close to when the war starts, either way. Alright, so there's the factory that I was looking for, and it's time to start producing more support equipment, because that appears to be an issue. Okay, there we go. Oh, and we have the 2 infantry that I was looking for here. And grab one of you and have you strategically deploy down to Messina. And the other one of you... I guess we can continue defending the ports. So, go ahead and come down here. Because allowing the Allies to capture a port would be catastrophic for me. Because that gives them a foothold that they can hold on to. If they go in here, as long as I'm holding the ports, I could jump on them. They'd be cut off from supply until they capture a port. But if they capture a port, then they're immediately in supply and a lot harder to fight back. Or fight off. Alright, we haven't had any of the colonial troops pop out just yet. It looks like their equipment is already good, because they don't need support equipment. They just need infantry, equipment, and manpower. We have plenty of manpower, so that's not an issue. So we just need to be pumping out these colonial troops as fast as we can. I could pump them out faster, just have them deploy without any training. But, you know, we're not at war, so there's no real reason to rush the troop production that heavily. It looks like I got another tank unit, which I'm going to add into the Blue Army here. And we're going to keep them centralized in Rome. As a matter of fact, that's probably not that good of an idea. What I'm going to do is instead send that tank into a city like Florence, so that it can deal with things that might happen up in northern Italy. And then if I get another tank, I might send one down to southern Italy. Okay, so we've got the Munich Agreement. All right, so mostly we want to see bringing peace with honor. I believe it is peace for our time. So they went down the historic route with the Sudetenland. I like how it says for the second time, because the first time would have been Austria, but that never actually, that didn't actually happen. So no war this year then. All right, so modernized artillery we just got. And I'm just going to continue down this focus tree, because I don't think there's anything else. I mean, I would go after Sport Nationalist Spain if I could, but it doesn't let me do that. I wonder if it's because Republican Spain doesn't exist anymore, and they've already won, so as a result, I can't get the Spanish-Italian alliance. Which is a bummer, because that would allow me to get befriend Portugal as well. So this was apparently something... Oh, will be abandoned if national Spain is not in a civil war. So I needed to do this when the civil war is going on. I didn't realize that, so this tree I can no longer do. That's unfortunate. Alright, well, modernized army. This will allow me to get some research bonuses for land doctrine again, which is good, as well as recon companies. I get one of those, which will come up soon in 39. And then Special Forces will allow me to get mountain infantry pretty darn quickly, minus 100%. And I can also go down with paratroopers if I so choose. And then finally, we've got armor technology, which I do definitely want. I'm going to go ahead and do modernized army. Because a lot of this other stuff, to me, doesn't matter until closer to 1940. Because the ship and air tech happens in 1940. So I'd prefer to get that closer to then. So I'm going to go ahead and go with modernized army. Because the tank thing happens in 39. So, as does a lot of the other infantry stuff. So... Ooh, Alpine unit. Alright, at this point, I could either send it over the French border, or I could send it over into this unit over here to solidify the fight against Yugoslavia. But granted, having both Bulgaria and Romania now part of the faction, probably don't need that troop there. But, you know, you could go either way with that decision. But I'm going to go ahead and add them into Green Army. Alright. So support equipment and artillery continues to be a problem. But the colonial troops don't have either, because I never added in any support equipment to their template, so... Okay. Well, I just got another Alpine unit, and I'm going to do... I'm going to go ahead and add them to this front. That makes my decision easy if I get 2 Alpine units to choose from. Now I think this front is pretty much good. Now if I get more infantry, I might put them into here. But I still think this is suicidal unless I have a lot of troops there. I could put both the troops and the tanks in there. So it's possible it would be survivable, but I don't know how necessary it would be to hold on to this. I don't think there's any resources there. So outside of the port and another angle of attack. And it would also put more pressure on Yugoslavia, so it might be a good call. So if I do get these troops popping out before we start the war, it'd still be a positive thing. But at this point, I don't know if it tells you when... Yeah, February of 39. So these guys would pop out just before we'd want to start the war. So we might be able to get them in there. These guys would pop out a little late. And these guys are due to pop out in a couple days. So we'll have 5 divisions to send down. I think I'm going to focus on... Well, actually, let's take a look here, resource-wise. We get a little bit of rubber. All right. So I guess we're pretty... Oh, well, actually, it's 39 now. So I probably want to get working on dispersed industry and advanced machine tools and all that. So go ahead and research that. So we get rubber there. We get absolutely nothing from Libya. So what's the better call to defend? If I put troops into here, it actually gives me the opportunity to attack Egypt. And with the pressure from Turkey, we may actually be able to do something there. And then there's oil to be gained here, although not a lot. I think this fighting would be more defensive in nature if I put troops over here. And I already have 4 divisions in here. And only 2 over here. Or 3, actually. Oh well. I'll go ahead and grab these guys. We'll add them into this army here. And I'm going to have to worry about attacks from 2 different sides. I'm going to have to worry about attacks from the French and from Egypt. What's to be gained over here? Got a little bit of steel. Okay. A lot of steel over here. So mostly steel. Of course, the Suez Canal is another thing that we might want to go after to shut down the Mediterranean. Alright, well, I'll go ahead and take half these divisions and send them over here. And then the other group I'll send over here. That way we'll be defending both. And it's probably high time that I recruit a commander with some political power. So, recruit. So we've got this guy here. And I would rather somebody, like, not as good of a general be commanding these guys than this guy. Because this guy's going to gain experience faster than this guy will because he's got old guard. I'm going to go ahead do that. And then I'm going to have to figure out where the commander was that we just pulled. So I'm going to assume blue army. So we'll go ahead and assign that guy there. And I guess we might as well get a general for the orange army while we're at it. So, because these guys more than likely will be seeing combat. So it increases the political power cost here. Same picture. Alright, so... Alright, I'll go ahead and give them the worst general, and we'll give these guys here, we'll give them the better At least the guy that's going to gain more experience, anyway. And I might actually have to divide them into 2 armies. One against France and one against Egypt here. Alright. As a matter of fact, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to send this unit over here. And 2 of you guys, you go there, you go there. Yeah, okay, that will work for me. I might even do this in 1 army over here and 1 army over here so I can go ahead and draw up front lines and things. So I might end up taking that general that I put over in Ethiopia. Okay, so I'm just going to move that guy and bring you guys over here. And out of curiosity, what's the timetable here for new guys here? So in April. All right. Well, I can at least use those guys to reinforce. We've got Battle Fleet Concentration. Just got finished. I should have more Naval Doctrine stuff. I'm going to go ahead and do the convoy sailing as well. So we've got Destroyer Subdetection, Destroyer Organization, and Escort Efficiency. Or we could do submarine stuff. This is for carriers, which I absolutely don't care about. Although this does make light cruisers better. All right, you know what? I'm going to take this. It doesn't help me now, but this will eventually help me. So we'll go with this. All right, so I'm going to reorganize some things here. I kind of want to keep troops in Tobruk and over in Tripoli, just as like a defensive line. I don't know how good of an idea that is against the AI. But I think the game plan that I have is these guys are going to be a new army. And you guys are going to be commanded by the general that I put over in Ethiopia. And you're going to have a different color because I don't need the same color. I'll give you this pinkish color. And you guys will get the other pinky color. And go ahead and sign some stuff here. So you guys are going to be given a front line that extends like that. And then you're going to get an offensive line that goes to the river. All right. And then you guys over here are going to get a front line that extends like that. And you're going to have an offensive line that goes to there. That's a little bit ambitious, but I think it will work out. So we got 4 divisions over there and 4 divisions over there. All right. I think that will work. Now here, it's mostly going to be defensive, but I'm going to go ahead, strategically deploy these guys over here and these guys over here. Game plan here is capture these ports as quickly as possible and try and prevent any troops from being shipped into this area. That may take too long to capture this port, but I think this port will be easy enough. Alright, so I just got a new focus. I think this point is a good point to put a cut in the video, so I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.